Why do we use JavaScript? Now, I'm going to show you some kind of really simple diagram that's going to be in your head for a long time, and you can memorize it or at least just understand it about why actually we need JavaScript. This is our web page. Cool. And let's say so far what we have done was we added HTML to it, and what HTML does was it gives the content from all the HTML. We added images, we added title, daily headings, uh, other contents. Let's say we just added a CSS code. I'm going to write CSS over there. Let's just keep it CSS. Now, CSS actually help us designing the web page. Now, HTML was basically for putting the contents and adding what we needed, exactly the basic, like adding the paragraphs, the pictures, the text, and much more. While the CSS will help us to design and give our web page a kind of a really good look. So CSS took the care of, let's say, colors. I'm gonna add this really simple attributes over here. So colors, let's say designs, fixes to the code like our margin, the paddings, and much more. And even it gave much good final touches, a lot more. Why do we need to use JavaScript then if we can just put the content and give it a design, and that should be it, right? For being a really starter web page, that's it. Now JavaScript will help us to do something else. Let's just write JavaScript. So JavaScript will help us to get our code more user interface, more dynamic, because so far we were just making the website that is static, just like the pictures, the content, the designs. But JavaScript will make it more dynamic, will make it more functional, give your web page some logic. Now, what's logic? I'm going to teach you about that. Now, so far, you might get some idea about what's happening right now. So we are using three simple, easier languages for getting started to build web pages. It's not definitely the web developers are right now using some more kind of advanced technologies, but this is the place where we all started. Now, to being more simple, let's say HTML help us to add one button over here, while CSS help us to give some colors into it. Let's say this one to be the red color, this one to be a green color, and some kind of cool designings, much more padding, margins, and all. JavaScript will give it some logic. Okay, like if you click on plus button, the number goes in one. If you click on minus button, your number will come back to 0. Okay, now that's why we need JavaScript to put the logic in our code, and that's the basic need of using JavaScript. We'll start creating a web page. Now, way number 2, there are many ways of using JavaScript. Either the way number 1 is you can embed your code of JavaScript within the HTML. Number 2 is you can have a separate sheet of JavaScript. I will prefer that we start with the very simple code that is adding the JavaScript within our HTML itself. Okay. Now, starting with HTML, we won't actually need to worry about it. I'm going to just type the things really quick. All right, so this doc type HTML, and then HTML, and the head, the title next, and let's say learning JavaScript. I'll just write JS here. Now we need to close the head. Okay, we will be linking our CSS as well. So I'm going to say link relation style sheet style.css. We're going to make a file for this later. Close the bracket. Now let's open the body. I'll close the body tag here, and I'll close the HTML tag here. Now let's just make another file, and we will save both of them. Let's name this to be index.html. Okay, that's the HTML extension, and let's name this style.css. Why? We have style.css linked over here. So file save as style.css. JavaScript is a programming language, and it's like one of the most important programming language when it comes to learning web development and more on creating web pages that are dynamic. And JavaScript is one of the mostly used as well, and it's one of the what I can say, highly programmed and used by professionals. And even when you are even doing a graduation, these were kind of a basic language you need to learn in order to work with computers. JavaScripts have variety of libraries and lot of codes. In JavaScript, we use the document type. Before we start with that, just as I told you in start, that there are two ways to do that thing. Either you can have a separate sheet of JavaScript just like we have for CSS, or you can add the JavaScript within your HTML code. Let's take an example of Google. So that's a Google page. Most of us are quite familiar with it. So I'm going to open the page source. This is one of that's what we are making right now. You might be seeing a script tag over here. I want you to see the whole code. Now the code you're looking is more of the CSS, and they just added the CSS on top. And this is they just added look over here. There we go. Now line number 1, doc type HTML item scope, blah blah blah. You don't have to worry about these. Still, you don't have to worry about this. Now look here. I told you right. Most of the things are quite same, and yeah, they have encryption here, and we cannot actually get and catch up with what Google is doing here. But what I can tell you is, if you look over here, they have something called script. That's JavaScript. Okay, that's script. Now, if you scroll down, they might have another script used for the JavaScript code. You're right. There you go. So we have, this is the script tag. Well, the script tag is actually opening, or that's quite, oh my god, that's a big JavaScript code. Really? So they are actually opening. The script tag is opening over here. That's a huge JavaScript code. So they started the JavaScript over here, and they ended, oh my god, that was too big. They ended over there. Now, this is CSS and more kind of styling. This is actually more into the Bootstrap and Angular, but yeah, that's how the styling works. And they started the styling over here and might be ending over somewhere over here. And that's how they complete the whole web page. In the end, you're going to be in the same way that we did. Over here, they're ending the JavaScript, they're ending the body tag, and they're ending the HTML tag, all three together. Look here, how's JavaScript work? Because JavaScript is one of the basic language in developing web pages, so we can simply just say script. Even if we are not describing which language are we using, your HTML code will take it as a JavaScript code. Okay. Now, coming in JavaScript code, let's just write our first JavaScript line, and that will be alert. What does alert do? Alert help us to pop a alert box on your web page, and in your web page we will say alert welcome learner. It says, the site says welcome learner, and that's the alert box that what we have created. So let's just even design a really simple HTML beside that. So if you want to just work all together, make sure you are arranging and tidying up your code often to not get messed around with your code. So let's just say h1 goes over here, and I say welcome to JavaScript. Welcome to JavaScript. Okay, I'm going to close the h1 over here. We'll get a paragraph from Wikipedia or something about JavaScript, so we can do it over here. Let's say h3. What is JavaScript? Field set, legend, content from. I'm just making a learning for learning. We are doing all this for learning. So let's just copy this thing to make it look much better. I have got an idea. What we can simply do is come back here, paste it, send this into the legend. So cut. Okay, and yeah, we don't need this line. Exactly, we don't need that line. Cool. Now let's close the field set. We can do this in CSS as well, but let's just do it over here. So let's just break a line and make it italic. So I just made that italic. I'm just gonna make it bold as well. So I just got a paragraph ready. I'm gonna close that paragraph. Yeah, so there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. I'll just copy. I'm gonna break this paragraph. Let's say we're gonna have 2 lines, breaking and open the other one. Copy, paste, copy, paste, paste. Cool, done. All right, save. Still got quite messy, so I'm gonna keep it simple. We refresh this web page. We again gonna get this box, the alert box popping up and saying welcome learner. And once we click on OK over here, we see our web page. Cool. Now, in JavaScript, you can even, if you want to type something on the HTML, this is one of the technique in which you can actually access the element that is inside the web page. Let's say your HTML and JavaScript work closely together. So let's say you want to change the heading here. Okay, let's just do it over there. I'm gonna have another heading. Let's say h4. Let's keep it h2 and say I am in HTML. And I'll close the h2 here. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna scroll down and open the script tag. See how closely we are working together. That's the HTML, and then we are working with JavaScript. We just need to divide within the tags about what you're actually coding in. So yeah, so I'm in HTML, and let's give it an ID. I'm gonna give it an ID of let's give it an ID 1. Okay. All right. Now we give it an ID 1 within the script tag. Let's say document dot get element by ID. All right, within the parentheses, we're going to write the ID, the actual ID that we have. That's one over here. Close that. Dot inner HTML equals whatever you want to write. I'm going to say now I am in JavaScript. Now, before running that, I might cut this thing. I won't keep it in my text anymore, just to show you about how the things are working. Let's just refresh our web page. Welcome learner. Okay, that's fine. Now, if you look over here, it says I'm in HTML. Okay. Now, coming back, this is here. I'm gonna make it quite bigger. That's the code. and that's over here. I'm in HTML, and that's how it's getting printed. Cool. Now, below that, I'm going to add the code that we just did. Script document.getElement by ID one .inner HTML. Now I'm in JavaScript. Let me save it, refresh it. Welcome, Lana. Yeah. You see the difference? Now it says, and now I'm in JavaScript. What actually happened here was you said document. Document is exactly your code that you're typing. Get element by ID. So all the tags that we see here are called elements. And we give it an ID called one. So we are referring to the ID one dot inner HTML. So we're referring to the HTML sheet. And we're going to give it a different text. So you can actually do like that for the rest of your codes to change interchangeably HTML to JavaScript and much more. Go with really simple. Start again. Now let's say script document. This is the last thing that we're going to learn today. Document.write hello world. Okay, I'm going to close the script tag here. There we go. Cool. Save it. Let's run it. Do you see? Now, using the document.write, we can even write so many things that you want to do. So while learning JavaScript, we might have to learn about few of the codes, but the code that we learned today was alert, hello world. We learn about the alert boxes. We learn about document.write. Document.write is a simple print statement in JavaScript, okay? And the third was document.getElement by ID. Let's take an example by h1. And let's give it an ID. It's a really simple ID one. And we keep it simple. Let's keep it empty as well. So our web page is quite empty now because there is nothing inside the h1. We're going to add the h1 over here by typing document.getElement by ID. One dot inner HTML. Just need to follow the same syntax, okay? In order to run your code well, learning JavaScript. Semicolon. Let's just run this web page. Refresh. Hello world. Good. So we run with the alert box. Now we change that into the from JavaScript into HTML, and we have a document.write. Just to make it look cooler. So let's say h1 background color to be white, color to be red. Right, that's it. Let's change the white because the background is actually white. Let's keep it the background yellow. Okay. Hello world. Okay. Click on OK, and there we go. Cool. So we are done with most of our code now, and I hope that things are much more simpler today for JavaScript. I hope you guys enjoyed the whole lesson structured out there. Please share, like, and subscribe to the page.